two people walk into a buffet on the same Saturday afternoon. One pays $12, picks up a plate the size of a hubcap, and spends the next 40 minutes making decisions at a steam table that has been operating at the same temperature since 11 in the morning. The other pays $2,000, sits down without standing up once, and receives course after course from a spread that was restocked every 15 minutes, staffed by a team of 12, and designed by a chef whose other job is running a 2 Michelin-star kitchen 4 nights a week. Same concept. Same word on the sign outside. Completely different planets. Because the word buffet covers more ground than any other word in the food industry. It covers the steam table at the Chinese restaurant on the corner, where the crab rangoon has been under a heat lamp since before you woke up this morning. And it covers the private estate spread, where the only thing the guest is required to do is sit down, and the only thing the buffet is required to do is be extraordinary at all times in all directions simultaneously. So today I am breaking down the 7 levels of buffets from the all-you-can-eat that charges by the pound to the private spread that charges by the experience and never mentions the number. Let's get into it. Level 1, the all-you-can-eat and the steam table economy. This is where most people's relationship with the buffet begins and where the food industry has engineered one of its most commercially efficient formats. The all-you-can-eat buffet runs $10 to $20 per person in most markets. Chinese buffets, Indian lunch buffets, American breakfast buffets at highway hotels, the pizza and pasta operations at family restaurants that replaced waitstaff with a sneeze guard and called it a concept. The economics are precise. The food cost is calibrated to the average consumption of the average guest. The items that cost the most to produce are positioned at the end of the line after the cheaper items have already filled the plate. The steam tables maintain temperature without maintaining quality, because quality and volume at this price point are objectives that cannot be optimized simultaneously, and the operator chose volume. The man at level 1 is not eating at a buffet because it is good. He is eating at a buffet because it is there, because it is fast. After all, he is hungry in the specific way that requires volume rather than excellence. And because $12 is a number that does not require him to think about the meal before, during, or after eating it, the buffet serves him correctly. He is the customer it was designed for, and the transaction is honest on both sides. Level 2, the hotel breakfast buffet, and the first real upgrade. This is where the buffet format first encounters ambition and where the experience of standing at a spread becomes something more than logistical eating. A hotel breakfast buffet at a 4-star property runs $25 to $60 fixed per persona, depending on the hotel and the city. Fresh eggs cooked to order at a live station. Smoked salmon that was sliced this morning rather than yesterday. A bread selection that was baked on premises rather than delivered in a plastic bag. Fresh juice pressed in front of you rather than poured from a carton that has been open since 6. The man at the hotel breakfast buffet is not eating breakfast. He is processing the beginning of a travel day in a format that allows him to control the pace, the volume, and the composition of the meal without negotiating with a waiter about substitutions at 7:30 in the morning. The live cooking the station is the detail that separates this level from the one below it. When food is made in front of you rather than held in a tray beside you, the entire relationship between the diner and the food changes. He is no longer selecting from what exists. He is directing what is being created. The difference is subtle and significant, and the hotels that understand it fill their breakfast rooms every morning. Level 3, the Sunday brunch buffet at a serious hotel or restaurant. This is where the buffet becomes a social occasion and where the food is designed to justify a morning that extends into early afternoon without anyone feeling they need to leave. Sunday brunch buffets at 5-star hotels and serious restaurants run $80 to $200 per person in major cities and significantly more in primary destinations during peak season. The champagne is included. The seafood tower is restocked every 30 minutes. The carving station has a whole roasted animal behind it and a chef with a long knife and the specific energy of someone who enjoys their job. The desserts section is the size of a small patisserie and was staffed by a pastry team from 6 in the morning. The man at the Sunday brunch buffet arrived at 11:30 ate his first plate by noon, had champagne with his second plate at 12:30, and is now on his third plate at 1:15, showing no signs of concluding the experience. He will be here until 2:30. He will not eat dinner. He considers this an entirely reasonable trade. The Sunday brunch buffet at this level is not a meal. It is a 4-hour event that happens to involve food, and the price reflects the duration of the event rather than the cost of the food alone. Level 4, the Las Vegas High Roller Buffet. This is where the buffet format collides with spectacle and where excess becomes the explicit design brief rather than an accidental byproduct of the format. The Bacchanal Buffet at Caesar's Palace, the Wicked Spoon at the Cosmopolitan, the Sterling Brunch at Bally's. Price runs $50 to $150 per person, depending on the day and the specific offering. The scale is the point. 200 dishes, 9 live cooking stations, a dedicated sushi bar, a dim sum section, a rotisserie, a raw bar with oysters, crab legs, and shrimp in quantities that communicate an indifference to cost that is itself a form of luxury signaling. The man at the Las Vegas buffet is not in Las Vegas for the food. He is in Las Vegas, and the buffet is part of the Las Vegas experience, the same way the casino is part of the experience and the pool is part of the experience. The buffet communicates abundance in the specific language that Las Vegas uses for everything, which is more, always more than you need, more than you expected, more than seems reasonable, because reasonable is not the aesthetic and never was. He fills 3 plates. He goes back for a 4th, specifically for the crab legs, because the crab legs are the kind of thing that justifies the drive from wherever he came from, and he knows it. Level 5, the private event and corporate buffet at scale. This is where the buffet stops being a restaurant format and becomes an event infrastructure. A high-end corporate event buffet, a product launch, a private gala, a wedding reception catered at a level that reflects the budget of the people getting married rather than the budget of people who need a wedding to be affordable, runs $200 to $600 per person for the food and service component alone before venue, florals, and entertainment are considered. The chef is not a catering chef. He is a restaurant chef who takes private events at a rate that reflects his day job. The stations are not steam tables. They are action stations where food is finished to order in front of guests who are holding a champagne flute in one hand and a small plate in the other. Level 6, the private chef buffet spread at an estate or yacht. This is where the word buffet stops being adequate for what is being described and where a different vocabulary is needed, but does not yet exist. So buffet remains the closest available term for a format that has outgrown it. A private chef spread at a significant estate or on a charter yacht of serious size runs $500 to $2,000 per person when the chef, the sourcing, the staffing, and the setting are factored together. The chef was engaged 3 weeks before the event. The menu was designed around the preferences of the host and the dietary requirements of the guests, both of which were submitted in writing and reviewed in a conversation. The ingredients were sourced from producers the chef has relationships with, not from a cash and carry operation that delivers to event caterers at volume. The seafood was alive this morning. The cheese was selected by a specialist who drove to the estate with a cooler and spent an hour with the chef discussing which of the 40 options they had brought would work within the arc of what was being served. The place, when inside it, does look like a buffet in any sense that the word normally implies. It looks like an installation. It looks like something that was designed to be experienced before it is touched. The guests arrive and stop talking because the table requires a moment of attention before the eating begins. Level 7, the final level. The buffet that is not called a buffet because the word is no longer adequate for what it describes. There are private gatherings at the level of wealth where food is served in formats that combine the freedom of a buffet with the execution of a tasting menu, the sourcing of a 3 Michelin-star kitchen, and the presentation of a gallery installation. No serving spoons, no chafing dishes, no cue, no plate the size of a hubcap. Each element of the spread is a composed piece that was plated by a chef and placed on the table by a team member whose sole function for the evening is to ensure that each element looks exactly as the chef intended at the moment the guest encounters it and is replaced the instant it no longer does. Level 1 is an honest transaction between a hungry person and an operator who understands the price point. Levels 2 and 3 are where the format acquires ambition and social purpose. Level 4 is where excess becomes the product rather than a byproduct. Level 5 is where the buffet becomes event infrastructure designed by a professional team. Level 6 is where the word buffet stops fitting what is being described. Level 7 is where the format dissolves entirely into something that has the freedom of a buffet and the intention of a commission. If you want to understand how the world actually works at the level where effort disappears and intention takes its place, this channel breaks it down every single week. So subscribe, turn on notifications, and never miss a breakdown.